welcome back to the channel. We are continuing on our build here, our Lua interactive map. So last time I showed us how to build a map that we can then print onto a screen, and then what we can do is from that map we can click on it and it will give us our real world coordinates. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to click and save those little dots so we can create a route, a savable route. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go back into our Lua block. We want to do this custom route, and we want to put these two little brackets there. Okay, what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to create a folder. And then what we're going to do, we need this bit of code here. If custom route, then custom route, our x is going to be input x, and then say equals y. All right, that's our x, y. And then down here we want this little bit of code for IV in pairs, custom route do. And then we set the color, I just set it to red. And then you want to say screen dot draw circle, instance variable, and then the radius. So that's x, y, and the v, and the r there. So that's what you want to do. That's simple. You want this bit of code here, this bit of code here, underneath this, and then this bit of code here. Now, what that's going to allow you to do is print little red circles on the screen. Alright. So, look, I can print little red circles. And then every time I do that, it gives me a different XY, and that XY is, the new XY is being outputted. It's so fantastic. Okay? So what we want to do now is, now that we're able to save that XY, and we're able to get a real world XY for it, now we're able to plot like a route. We're actually able to give vehicles routes. So what we want to do now, what is, I'm just trying to think of what is the next kind of logical step. The next step. The next step is maybe we want to do a little bit more drawing. So we're drawing a circle at the XY, okay? But what we should also be drawing, should we also draw this here, the world X and Y. So now in order to do that, the easiest thing to do is just to continue to create folders for each of these values. So we can copy that, and then we need one for X and one for Y. And we can say custom world X, and we can say custom world Y, custom world Y. And then we can just copy this bit of code here, and we'll repaste it twice, and this will say this is going to be X, and this one's going to be Y. Now, what we want that to be is, let me just say world X, and we can say world Y, and we don't even need this. Oh, we could just say equals, we could just say value, equals value B, and then down here, I guess we could say, let's see if we copy this, and instead of drawing a circle, we're going to say screen dot draw text, and then we need the X, guess I could do that. And this should still be, we can actually keep this like this here. We can keep this like this. But one of these is going to have to be like -6. I hope that works. And then this is going to have to be X. And then this is going to have to be Y. And then this is going to have to be like this. Alright, let's see if I made a mess of that or not. This is why I was saying we might need a second Lua block just to code. There we go. There we go. And now, I mean, that's, you know, we don't need the decimal places, right? So what we need is the, I need my engine stats. Here, and then we just need that bit of code string format this here, and then that way when we write our numbers, all right, it's going to be let's see here. Instead of there, let's see, Control X, where temp is, you want to replace that with the variable. Just like that. And then that way it'll print if T1 then. This is red, this is red, this is the custom route, and this is, I don't even know if we're going to need this anymore actually. This is just the original where I'm pressing. Oh yeah, no, we are actually, because these three functions here, we're actually going to wrap into if custom. Right? If custom a then, all right, and then we're going to need an end basically here to finish that, and then we need to say custom route A, all right, up here on tick, we need to say equals input dot get bool, and we're already reading channel 1, so this has to be channel 2, and that's going to be this here, so I can run into there and then run into there, and it's going to start on channel 2. Start channel 2, so this will be channel 2 and this will be channel 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that should work. So now, if I just click on the screen, it should give us that pale green wherever I click. Yeah, it tells us the X, Y. And then if I turn on the route, oh, because it actually saved. It actually saved. So we only want it to save if custom route. No, we want to say, do this. Wrap all of this inside of that on-off function. function. And now it shouldn't save. Or I'll have to clear, we also have to have a way to clear the folder. So that works. That's cool. Right, so now we need to be able to reset the folder. So I think I have it in here. Oh yes, and then we need this bit of code here to reset it. So how do we want to reset that? We could say down here, we could say if not, then, right, and that basically all's bad argument for iterator accepted, table expected got no, whoops, targets. Oh, and then we have to do this for custom route. And we have to do that 2 more times. And we need this here. Yeah, this is what I was thinking, like, you see where I wasn't sure if we were actually going to have enough code, enough lines of code to do this in a single script. But I'm actually happy I'm able to do this in a single script. So what this will do is this will clear. Alright, so every time the button isn't pressed, it should clear the folder when you press the turn off route A. Right? So if I do that, turn on route A, oh no, that didn't work. Maybe we actually need a clear button, right? Clear, and then in, oops, and then in here, it could even be, I mean, it could even be a toggle, not a toggle, it could just be a push button. Hold on. Let's see, we'll have a push button here. There we go, and then we need to add an input here. We're just going to need clear routes. Perfect, and that can be channel 3. This will be clear routes, and then we want to copy that, and we want to say if clear routes then, and then that's going to be channel 3. All right, let's update that. So now we're saying if I press that button, it should clear the folder. So let's see if it clears the folder. No, it doesn't. Why is that? Oh, probably. Let me see this. Custom route, custom world. If clear, if not clear routes. Let's get rid of that not in there. There we go. I should be using a true and a false on that, or I should be reading it as if input dot get bool blah 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 is. No, that didn't work either. What's going on here? Oh, that's probably why. It'll help if I connect the button to the microcontroller. Then we can actually read the input instead of just pressing it over and over again and hoping for something. Okay, so now if I do this, no. What's going on here? Clear routes. Channel 2 and channel 3. Input.get bool channel 3. Clear routes. Oh, I see. I think I know what's wrong here. Okay. I think it's my fault. I think I have to turn off the routes button. Let's see. So if I turn that on, and then I turn it off. No, that's not right. It should clear. It should clear. How come it's not clear? How come you are not clearing? Yeah. Target sequence middle. That's all it takes. It should be clearing the folder. Why is it clear? If custom route A, then if clear routes, then custom route. Custom world X. Yeah, it should clear. It should go into the folders and then clear the values. But it's not, so I'm wondering if this has to be here. Above it, maybe? Oh yeah, there. It's always going to print the one value without totally clearing it. Okay, alright, so maybe I can get it to totally clear the screen then. Alright, well that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because as soon as you turn it on, if custom route, then it's immediately going to print these. What is it? It's immediately going to print this. So it does get a little bit complicated. It does get a little bit complicated. That's one input. So then what I want to do is I want to draw a line from one point to the next point. That's sort of the final part here. So if we say draw a line, x1, y1 to x2 and y2. So if I say down here, screen dot draw line, and then I can say let's see, if I'm getting the XY already on this one here, input, custom route. So draw a line. We need X1, Y1 to X2 and Y2. So we need to draw from custom route to custom route. So then the X1 and the Y1 would be our input X and Y, and then our X2 and our Y2 would be the next value, the next one. So we would have to say if T1 then let me see if that's gonna work. If I could just do that. I might have to end up creating another table to get the X and Y for this, to get the X1, the Y1, and the X2 and the Y2. And that way when you click, it is your X1 and Y1, and it'll do the same thing as this every time you click. And then I'll have to draw, let's see, how would that work? To draw the line, every time you press T1, it will grab your X and your Y, and then it will draw a line to the next X and Y. So either, strange, huh? So it would either have to be like this. Let's see. And then to like I'm not sure. It's the next part that needs to be figured out, right? We could draw a line to each. Oh, there we go. Almost got it. Almost got it. Oh, that's every time it draws a line from. So now it's drawing a line from there to where you currently click. But it's drawing a line from here, every one of these to where you currently click. So we don't want it to do that. We only want it to do it. So I'm gonna need another. Yeah, because it draws a line to your current X, Y, or I could just say custom route. Then it might give me an error. I don't know, let's try. Because I'll still need a Y on there. could say custom route, custom route. Let me see, let me see, let me see. That didn't work. Let's see if that works. So it's drawing a line. I don't know why from the corner. We don't want that. I don't know why it's printing from the corner. That's probably this. Oh, because I betcha this is probably way too big. It's pixels, not, yeah, pixels, yeah. So the screen is 96 pixels by 96 pixels, yeah. Strange, it's so strange. That's so strange. Is it still coming in on, oh, I see. It's input 1. It should be channel 2 and 3. Channel 2, yeah, custom road. Channel 3, clear roads. It's just strange that I turn it on. As soon as I turn it on, it gives me that one point in the upper corner, right? Maybe that's the default position. All right, so anyways, so it will, yeah, it's creating a line from there to there. We don't want it to do that. We want it every time it saves a value. We want it to create a line. I don't really know how to do that. Let's see. Just need the X1 and the Y1 to the next X1 and the Y1. So we would have to be reading, let's see here. So if we had one of these, do we need two? One is going to be line X, and one is going to be line Y. All right, and I suppose this one could be line X. And this one could be line Y. So that also means I need one of these. I guess I don't need a second. I can take the line X and I can do this. I can do this. We can do this. Oh no, I do. I need one for X and I need one for Y. Alright, so we'll take that, copy that, and then we need this for YY. And we need this for YY. So then it's just going to save. I don't know why I don't just reuse. I just reuse those. Because it's just this here. Except this would be here. And this would be here. But it's screen. Draw a line. And then the X1 and the Y1 would be input X, right? Input Y, and then, oh no, actually, it would be I, V, and then we want to go to custom route. See if that's what kind of a mess that'll create. Nothing. I have to put that in twice. I think so. Late night testing, late night testing. No, it's still coming from that point. We don't want it to come from that point. We want it to come from the next point. So instead of custom route, maybe I should go to X1, Y1, and then our X2 and our Y2. Our X2 and our Y2. Text draw circle. So I mean, this was. I know I didn't do this, but I can. It says no errors detected on that, but that's not going to do anything. It's the X2 and the Y2. See, when we're doing this with radar, we already get the X2 and the Y2 and all that from the radar, so it's no big deal. But here, the X2 and the Y2 are custom route. I could say custom route, and maybe I should try input X and input Y. Let's try that maybe. Maybe that's the thing to try. Not quite. Not quite. Now what it's doing is it's drawing a line from every single one to the new point, which is not what we want to do. We don't want to draw a line from every single one. Oh, that's because every time it says draw a line. Custom route A, then maybe I should do this in here instead. Let's see, maybe I should take this function out of here. And maybe I should put this function in here. Let's try that. It's just a matter of where it's played in the code. So maybe we go from, maybe we reverse that, right? And then we do this, we say V like that, maybe. And then I'll put it back into the static. Oh, I thought it was working, but we don't want it to draw from everyone. So what we can do. Maybe this should be custom route. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Oh no, see now it's always coming from there. It's always coming from there. It's not actually coming from the new value. It comes from custom routes. So if we take this here and put it out here, so I can just see the line being drawn. Yeah, the folder where it's storing the information is up here, so it wants to draw from here every time. But I want to see if there's a way. Let's see custom route. But it should go from. Let's see, it should go from our folder to where? Let's try that. Let's try that. No, that just seems to break it. It just seems to break it. It just seems to break it. How long are we in? It's 39 minutes of me just mucking around. Oh boy. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you've been watching this far, thank you so much. I guess I don't actually know how to get this thing to save the line. What I have to do is I have to take, what I have to do is See here, what we're doing is we're taking the x1 and the y1, which could be my input, and then we're saying, we're giving it the angle of rotation and the distance to the next point. So I guess I just have to figure something like that out. That's gonna have to be in the. It's getting kind of late. That'll have to be in the next one. But I mean, so far I think we're off to a pretty good start. We're able to save the values. Now, as far as drawing a line, I'm just going to get rid of that, honestly. I will figure it out, and I'll put it in here. I knew it was going to be easier with the radar because it gives us all that information anyways, and then here I just have to figure out what's the right selection of variables. All right, so I mean, there you have it. So now what we're able to do is we can update that. Let's say we're in our boat and we're going somewhere, and we want to have a selection of coordinates to choose from. I can even turn the zoom up to like 5. And I can say, let's go there, and then there, and then there, and then there. I know I'd like to be able to join these together. Eventually I will. And of course, clean up the coordinates. So every time we click, it's going to give us a new set of coordinates. 24, 8, 6, 8, 4, 6. So it's that one there. 3, 3, 9. Right. 2, 4, 3 set. Yeah. So every time we click, it gives us the next set of. So the final thing that we want to do is we want to be able to save those global coordinates. And then we want to be able to input those into our autopilot. So when we reach the coordinates, it clears those coordinates, and then it jumps to the next set of coordinates. So that's going to involve a little bit of determining our distance between where we are now and where we need to go, which if you have an autopilot, I don't know if I'll do that in here, a distance thing, but I do have the one block autopilot. There's plenty you can get off the workshop. I have this. Should be safe here. Oh, maybe it's not on this. It's in here. I have this. It's a one block autopilot, fully configurable GPS. This thing is great. This thing is absolutely fantastic. You can find it on the workshop there. And anyways, you just plug your GPS into here and then send it out to the rudder. It's got all that stuff in it. So that would be the next step, is plugging this X and Y into here and then sending that into here. So what we're going to do is we're going to save these values. I'll probably duplicate this setup a couple of times. This setup here. And that way we have a I'm not sure. So that's going to be that's sort of the next step now is how do we save, well, there's a couple, how do we draw the line, but how do we save these global coordinates? And I could do the same thing, I guess. I could use this line X as a way to save, like we already have the custom world X and Y saved here in this folder. Custom world X, custom world Y. And what I can do, we're already reading that value, so I could set it up so that way if custom route, I could set the output every time you click on a new one. Right, so here we have output, set number channel 1 and channel 2. That changes every time you press on the screen. It outputs a new GPS. But here it's saved, right? So, yeah, that's the next, that'll be the, we might need one more, I mean, we're only halfway through this script. We might need one more bit of code here. What are we at here? 40, another 10 minutes of me just rambling on. Right, because now what we need to do is we need to measure the distance, okay? But all that is done through the autopilot. All that is done through here. Right, so let's see. So if we take our custom X, target X, and target Y, and then we take our X and our Y, all right? And then we need a compass. Electricity, and then it's going to tell us our distance, right, which is all we need. Dial, let's get a dial. Let's get it. I don't know if that's it's probably in meters. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out right now. And then the distance here, it will give us on that. So let's just save that. That comes from the GPS. Now I pretty much almost built one of those with the space shuttle. Like that's pretty much where we're going. But it's nice to just grab somebody else's and let them figure it out. Okay, so if we turn that on, it's going to tell us. Oh, what happened here? Bad argument. Oh, because I deleted the table. We're not using line X anymore, so we have to get rid of that table or else it's going to give me an error. It didn't detect it here, but it detected it there. $16.54. I'm assuming that's probably meters. Oh yeah, 2,000 meters. I'll check to see what the distance is. So then, as we get close, what we'll need to do is, as we get close, actually, even in the autopilot here, there's this. But as we get close with the distance, right, we can just measure that distance, and we could say if when it gets to, I don't know, 100, whatever that value is, we'll figure it out. Then what we can do is we can have it in a threshold, and it can switch, and that is what is going to be our switch, our on-off switch in here, which would be channel. What's this one here? Autopilot. Right, it'll be channel 3. So whatever that input will be, let's just add it here. This will be our switch chords. And then what that will do is we need another one here. Chords equals input get bool channel 4, and then we could say I don't know if we're going to run that into here actually. don't think we'll do that. I think we're going to use that for this. Instead of running that through there, we're going to run that through here. Perfect. And then we can have a switch here and a switch here. Okay, and then this can be the off value, and this can be the on value. Once those are saved into the autopilot, it'll go to these coordinates until the autopilot gets another on signal. So, no, that doesn't make any sense, because then it's then we're really limited here in what we can do versus if we just save it all inside the Lua script, right? But we want to be able to recall that data. So instead of setting the output, we can set it here. Yes, that's how we're going to do this. So this, we're going to say next waypoint equals input get rule, and that's going to be channel 4. Yeah, there we go, our next waypoint. Okay. And then down here we can say if next waypoint, then what do we want to do? Then we can set the output here. World X and world Y. Or we could say custom world X and custom world Y. How would that work? Because we now have to go through the folder, and we now have to find the coordinates that we want. So, anyways, I'm a little bit confused. It's been a long video. I think I'm on the right track. That's gonna be a part 3, is gonna be figuring out how to save and recall these coordinates, because what we're doing now is we're putting them into a table, and we're just putting them in a table like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every time we enter them in. And then what we're doing here is we're printing every instance. So every time we click on the screen, we're doing this. Every time we click on the screen, right? So long as these parameters are active. So what I want to do is I want to be able to recall that at certain points using this next waypoint. So when we get a next waypoint, when we're within whatever 100 of the previous waypoint, let's say, it gives us an on value, and then it should jump to the next world XY coordinates. So either I set up, 3 or 4 of these, and say, okay, you can have 4 waypoints, or 5 waypoints, and then have a way of just having 5 individual inputs that will switch. It'll read this number, and 2, 3, 4, which is probably a better way of doing it, actually. Each one of these are your waypoint: XY, XY, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then whenever it gets to a certain point, well, we can even do that. We can even do that in here. We can even set that up in here, actually. Instead of the next waypoint, we can read that number. That would be number 6. That would be number 6. If I went input.get number 6, okay, and then we can say if, where would I put that? Let's say if next waypoint is less than 50, then what are we going to do? If we're less than 50, then we can say this. Perfect. Let's try that. All right. So now if I select 2 waypoints that are, we're going to try this out here. Let's see. Turn that on. Turn that on. Okay, and then that's 43. So if I zoom this out to 2, and I go down there, it's giving me that distance. So let's see. We need that distance to come in, right? So I need an input for the distance. Number, distance, okay, and then what do we need to do? We take that number, and this, we need to expand this to 6 channels. And that could be channel 6 coming in, and then what is it going to do? It's going to give me, and then it's going to set. I don't think it should set that. Yeah, that I'm not too sure about. Oh no, you know what we can do actually? You know what we can do? We can just do this. We can go output set bool, right? And then what channel is that? Channel 3. So that could be channel 4. 4, and then we can say true. Because, okay, how many waypoints do we have? We got 5 waypoints, right? So 4, let's see, copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? And then we can say this. False, false, false. Like that. If next waypoint is less than 50, this one goes true. I don't know. Let's just keep this simple. Output number 4 goes true. So if we get another composite read on off, and this is going to read on channel 4, and then we come through here, and then what I should do, I should actually check the light with that. And then what that would do is, let's say that was set this here, the next coordinates, you know what I mean? So we can update that, and we can spawn that. Now this only works for 1 coordinate, so we'll have to expand on the theory here, the logic of what I'm trying to design. Output, oops, I spelled that wrong. All right, there we go. Oh, look, it's on already. Bad argument. Line 43. a little bit. I notice when I'm constantly loading really quickly like this, the game can error. All right, so that should be. It's giving me a true signal already. If next waypoint is less than 50, let's try this. Let's see if it's greater than 50. Let's try that. It's the only way to test if it's. And we'll put this to 2. If next waypoint is greater than 50, output.set for true. So it worked when it was smaller, but it doesn't work when it's greater. All right. Strange. Yeah, that should be coming on. It was just working, I swear. It's channel 4. Oh, you know why? So every time I press on it, that shouldn't matter. Yeah, set below 4 to true. Is that right? Output dot set bool index and the value. Yeah, I guess that's that. Well, I guess I need to spend a little bit more time kind of figuring out how the next part of this is going to work. This is going to do it for part 2. I'm sorry that there's a little bit of these long pauses. Like I say, I'm still, thinking as I'm developing. So it can be hard to sort of tie things together. Sometimes you just need to take a little break, think about it, and then it will all come together. But at this point, we basically need to be saving the map, the world map coordinates, which we are. Well, we're converting them. The world X, Y. And then we're just printing them here. So we're not actually saving the values in here. We're only getting the values every time we click. So I could either add it under custom route. If custom route, then we could say like this: world X, world Y. It'd be the same thing. Input X equals world X. Input Y equals world Y. And then down here, I could tell it to I don't know. You know what I mean? We need to save each time we input a coordinate. We need to save it. So every time we click here, it gives us an X and a Y, and we need to be able to save that. So because it's giving us a positive, you know what I mean, a true value, but it's only a push button. It's not a toggle true, it's just a push true. So we don't actually need all these, because every time we push it, it gives us a new, it's going to give us a new number that we can read and save. So we don't need that. I'm not going to use this next waypoint part here. And I'm not going to use this function in here. I hope that's right. No, let's update that. Let's see if I broke it. Let's see if everything returns to normal. Oh yeah. Yeah, so it should be giving me the coordinates of every, yeah, the updated coordinates and the distance to each new waypoint. Okay. So every time you press that, it's stored. So maybe what I need to do is I need to set this up on a timer based on this distance, and then that way it'll be independent of this. So maybe instead of setting this output, okay, from here, what we'll do is we'll take a threshold gate and we'll say the low threshold, if it's between 0 and 50 on the distance, which we're not actually using it here anymore. We're not using distance in there anymore, so we'll get rid of that just for that back down to 5. Okay, and then if it's within the threshold, then we need a toggle to push. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. So when it gets within the threshold, it'll switch to the next number. It'll switch to the next waypoint. I don't know if this should be here. I think maybe this should be like, let's see, like this. And then maybe if we could have a switch here and a switch here. All right, and then this could be, this is the first value, and this is the second value, and then maybe we do that. There we go. Like that. So that way we're going to input that number, okay? And then this is the next number, and then the next number and the next number is how that's going to go, basically. It'll update this, but we need to be able to switch through, right? So this will be our first value, which is off, and then when we press it again, it's going to give us another value, which will be stored here, which will be value 2. Yeah, that's the only way this is going to work. And then once we get within, our threshold of our first value, it's going to say, okay, switch to the next waypoint. So then I would just have to repeat this and say, okay, so when it's within 50 of our next waypoint. And so on and so forth. Like that. And then that way it's going to save that value. And then that can be, you can turn that on. Oh, we need another one of these actually. And that can turn that on. That could be that. The on value for there. That could be the off value for there. Just like that. Now, either, and we just sort of chase it back. Okay, so now I can sort of sort it out here. Now this is sort of the pinch point here, right? Is the distance coming in, you know. So however I want to sort that out, I guess. But then when it's within the distance, it gives us a positive signal, right? I don't know. It'll have to be something like this. There'll have to be a switch. A switch back and forth. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I'm really sorry. It's a long one. I'm just doing some sort of thinking on the fly. But thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you all in part 3. Bye for now.